have an immigration problem? Or does someone in your family have an immigration problem? Or are you just interested in immigration? I mean, it's all over the news, television, newspaper, can't escape it. Did it form one of the main reasons, some might say, behind the Brexit Leave campaign? And that was how successful was that? More on Brexit in another broadcast. Anyway, if you are interested in immigration, you've come to the right place. You're watching Paul Turner, the immigration barrister, founder and head of Imperium Chambers, a boutique and highly personalised set of chambers that brings with it over 60 years of immigration experience. Well, who am I? I'm Paul Turner, I'm a lawyer, and I have some 20 years experience, mainly in immigration law. Having said that I'm a lawyer, what type of lawyer am I? As I may have mentioned, I'm a barrister. The other type of lawyer being solicitors. While there has been a blurring of the roles over the last few years, there are still some important differences I'll try to briefly explain rather than put you to sleep. Barristers traditionally did not deal with the public and went to court, perhaps hiding under the wig and gown as one sees on television, whereas solicitors generally dealt with the public and prepared cases and then handed them on to barristers. However, times have changed, and as solicitors have now gained greater access to court, barristers have been, subject to regulation and licensing, been able to deal with the public directly. Indeed, I'm licensed not only to deal with the public, but also to litigate on my client's behalf, which means I can take the case that little bit further. I not only fill in the application, but post it. In short, that means that you can instruct a barrister, such as myself or another direct access barrister, from the very start of your case, or even before your case has started. Indeed, that was one of the ideas behind setting up Imperium Chambers, that we provide a one-stop shop. We have taken clients through an initial conference, through an application, an appeal or a judicial review, through to the granting of a biometric residence permit, and in a number of cases the actual handing over of a British passport, something which is incredibly rewarding and makes it worthwhile. That's not to say that we do not take instructions from solicitors in the conventional way, and we have long-standing and very deep relationships with a number of excellent solicitors, some going back decades. Anyway, what is this? This is the first broadcast, one of hopefully many, from the Immigration Barristers Imperium Chambers. Why a broadcast? Why a channel? Good question. Well, the idea of having a regular programme is hopefully to bring law a little bit more to life, to make me and my team more accessible, to provide helpful information in an entertaining and informative manner. I suppose a good place to start is me. Whether I'm entertaining and informative is something that you'll have to decide for yourself. I became a barrister. I did so having seen somebody in court. At the time I wasn't doing anything, and I thought, I want to do that, dress up and argue. People said I was naturally talented at it. Well, I'm not too sure, but I've been doing it for 20 years. And indeed, I started working in immigration in 1999 and have been fortunate to work with some of the very best. I was a member of Tooks Chambers, the leading public law set, which was headed up by the great Mike Mansfield QC. Without boring you to sleep, a little bit more detail about me, a snapshot perhaps, is that I cover all areas of immigration law. I've seen it develop, grow and change over the years. I still remember Tony Blair saying about the Human Rights Act of bringing human rights, or human rights coming home. I think that was the same time or the same year that England were not bringing home the World Cup. I've also practiced in all the courts in England and Wales. Indeed, in some cases where the clients are particularly nervous, I've accompanied them to interviews at the Home Office. As well as going to court, my work involves advising clients, drafting documents, as well as doing some international work and lecturing. I've been lucky enough to advise the government Antigua and Barbuda, to meet with Her Majesty's Ambassador in Angola, whilst representing the governor of a province. Been invited to lecture in Pakistan and have worked closely with clients from France, Poland through to Thailand. At present, I've also been heavily involved and advised various well-known newspapers in respect of the Tier 1 highly skilled and TOEIC English language litigation and scandal that's going on at present. As I touched upon earlier, the government decided to open up the services that barristers were able to offer, which in my view was no bad thing. Indeed, prior to 1999, any man, dog or parrot could set themselves up as an immigration advisor, and indeed, given some of the quality of the work, it was probably better if the parrot had prepared the case, because the papers were in such a state. In fact, they looked like the bottom of the parrot's cage. However, since 1999, things are a lot better, and the government cracked down by virtue of Section 84 of the 99 Act, which regulated all those who could provide immigration advice. In respect of direct access, that came about not so many years ago, and it meant that individuals seeking immigration advice didn't have to go through a solicitor, but could come directly to a barrister. Indeed, I can still remember my first client. I was terrified. It was only a basic application, but having seen so many refusals and done so many appeals, I was terrified that if I missed a document out, the application would fail. I sat on it, I got all the documents, I reread it, I tried to make it as perfect as I could, and then finally I had to post it. And worry did I. I was terrified. And in the end, the answer happily resolved itself when my client turned up in chambers with his 2 small children, and they had their ILR cards and were telling me that they were off to Disneyland in Paris. That was the first case. It made a profound difference on me. It brought me much closer to the clients, and I could see that my work made a difference in some ways that it didn't quite make when I was just doing paperwork and shifting the papers off to the solicitors. Since then, my direct access work has grown, some by word of mouth, and then finally I took the plunge and thought to open up an internet site. And you can find my internet site at the immigrationbarrister.co.uk, and I regularly post articles or comments on there, as well as LinkedIn, Facebook and Twitter. Enough of me. I could go on about myself for ages, as the judges will often say. What of Imperium Chambers? What is it? Where is it? What do we do? Well, Imperium Chambers came out of a number of conversations with another barrister. We were concerned that some sets were becoming too big. Some now boast over 150 members, and that individual clients' needs were not quite being met as well as they could in a smaller and more accessible environment. So, now to cut things short, with another barrister we took the plunge and launched Imperium Chambers. The dream being to have a small boutique set with a family feel, providing first-class service to both the public and solicitors. At first there were just 2 of us in a small office in central London. The office got bigger, more people joined us, but my goal was always to have something that was accessible, not just in legal London, but out in the community. After all, it's the community that we serve, most of my clients being migrants that live within the community. We grew slowly, that was deliberate. I didn't want an exponential growth where a lot of people came on board and it was rather like a balloon that blows up and pops. And so far, Imperium Chambers has grown through a lot of self-training, and it's grown holistically, and at the moment, we're well on our way to achieving our goal. We have a small office in central London for the clients who prefer to go there, and that's at 5 Chancery Lane, and our main office is at 2 Selkirk Road in Tooting, 2 minutes from the tube station. You can virtually see it. Today there's some 5 tenants. They will come along, they will introduce themselves, but you may have heard of a couple of them mentioned by name. You have Jay Gajar, who's excellent at doing high profile work in the Tier 1 sector. Carisha Turner, an excellent lawyer who used to run a law school. On top of that, Protap Nath with over 20 years experience working for the Home Office. A Zamir, an individual who also has extensive experience working both for the Home Office and also with his private clients. Well, what do we do? The answer could be put the other way. What don't we do? What can't we do? Well, we do everything. We've now branched out into other areas of law, such as company, family, commercial, taking on new areas along with the new barristers and their own specialities and their own interests. But our main work involves dealing with clients on a one-to-one basis, starting off with conferences to find out what the person really needs, what they really want, and how we can help them. So we provide advice, we fill in applications. The forms used to be some 20 pages long, we're now grown to 100 plus. We fill in grounds of appeal, we draft the grounds of appeal. In respect of that, we then go on to our key area of work, which is advocacy. And that's going to court, whether that be the First Tier Tribunal, or the Upper Tribunal, or the High Court. And there is where our strength lies, in our ability to put forward arguments clearly, succinctly, and hopefully successfully. We also specialise in judicial review, and throughout our team we must be in excess of 1,000 or so. We also specialise in claims for unlawful detention and last minute applications for injunctions. I've had judges order aeroplanes be turned round on the tarmac and brought back to the terminal where the client has been taken off. I've had individuals also returned from abroad who've been removed unlawfully. Furthermore, through the introduction of Carisha and her keen interest in women's rights, we now offer a pro bono service to women and with a special feature providing a service to those women, single mothers without lawyers. Well, what can you expect from us and Chambers? Well, from us it's easy. It's the easiest question of all to answer. That's an excellent personalised service. We're all direct access qualified, and we can take your case from an application through appeal, if required, to the High Court, and if necessary to the Supreme Court. Benefit of our location in Tooting, it's intimate and provides a confidential service, and if you prefer to go to central London, then we have our central London office there, which is based just around the corner from Chancery Lane Tube Station, and is a stone's throw, though you need a very good arm, a stone's throw away from the Royal Courts of Justice. So, in short, we're able to provide a solution to any immigration problem you have, if there is such a solution, and we will work with you to the best of our ability. If you have a problem, or a member of your family has a problem, please do not hesitate to get in touch with us. You can contact us either by phone on 0207 242 3488, or by emergencies 07432 101 211, or by email at clerks@imperiumchambers.co.uk. We also, and this is something that perhaps doesn't spring to mind, is we're also able to deal with clients whose English is not their first language, and we can offer Urdu, Hindi, French, Italian, Gujarati, and Mauritian Creole lawyers, interpreters, if required. Well, that's us. If you have a problem, and if there is a solution, we will find it for you, if it is there to be found. Secondly, and lastly, what can you expect from this channel? Well, this in part depends on you, as we intend to speak not only about everything immigration-based or law-based, basis from changes in the law, cases, government policies, as to how to appear in court. Believe me, that's no small matter. I've had people turn up to the Court of Appeal wrapped up against the Siberian blizzard wearing a hat, boots, or alternatively wearing jogging bottoms and trendy trainers. The trainers looked good, but neither gave the impression that the United Kingdom had made the United Kingdom their home. They looked very much like they were passing through. Small tips like that, we offer that as well. If you have an issue that you'd like discussed, or you'd like some advice on, or perhaps me or a colleague to talk on, get in touch with us and we'll happily discuss it on air. We're also happy to answer any specific questions that you have. Just get in tune with us. Uniquely and in tune with the whole Imperium Chambers concept, we intend to go out and meet people. Part of what we intend to do is to go out and speak to the person on the street. We intend to visit immigration detention centres, reporting centres, go to court and talk to users. See how they feel. See how they feel about the service they receive, both from lawyers, not only us, but other lawyers, and how the service they receive from the courts and those individuals that they have to deal with as they move through the immigration process. Anyway, in short, if you want help, we're here for you. I think I've probably gone on long enough, and hopefully you're still awake, hopefully you're still listening to me. If you are, this will be part of a regular broadcast. We intend to broadcast during the week and then perhaps on Sunday afternoons, as we've discovered during many years of doing this, that it's often only on Sunday that one has the chance to actually kick back and take stock on the week and plan ahead. So perhaps we thought we'd put forward a broadcast on a Sunday as well as during the week. We will also be doing programmes on special topics such as important cases if they come out and they impact upon a large number of our clients. They might not be as long as this broadcast, they'll probably be more focused, perhaps more interesting, only time will tell. Anyway, as I said, I think you've heard enough from me today. This has been Paul Turner, the Immigration Barrister at Imperium Chambers. Thank you for watching.